So many questions, so little time. This is the Large Glass Podcast. I'm your host, Stoney. I'm joined, as always, by Matt.
In the grim darkness of the far future.
And Welshie.
Ask me Warhammer.
Back to Matt.
There is only war.
And we're here today to talk about all things Warhammer, but we like to get things kicked off with a little something we call Hobbies Goings On, where we take a look at what's been going on in the host Hobbies Live. Welshie, what's been going on in your host hobby live?
I think this might be Bombshell, the first ever where I actually haven't done a single bit of Warhammer since the last podcast.
Whoa.
I'm so sorry to let the team down.
Whoa.
I know I normally come in
For
hot.
sake.
But I've been doing some research. I was up on the Hadrian's Wall, thinking a lot about the Imperial Fists, thinking about construction and battlements.
This would still be standing if it had been made by an Imperial Fist. Things like
Yeah,
that,
more of it would certainly be there.
Oh.
It would be a lot more yellow, But yeah, I haven't. I managed to get a few games of Space Marine, and I guess that's my only news. Is the new Space Marine patch dropped this week with some cool new weapons. There's like a Salamander Fire Sword now. There's a Melter Fist on there.
Melter fist.
Yeah, it's like a power fist with
They're
a
just
melter
making
gun
shit
attached.
up now. Oh, okay.
I think you've always been able to get that. It's a Terminator weapon, though. You've never had
It's
it
a
on
combi,
a standard
like,
size.
yeah.
Well,
Combi fist.
Okay.
Well, Welsh, we haven't had a chance to talk about this, but since last time we put out an episode, I actually came down to see you, didn't I? I came to your house and I played Space Marine.
Yeah, I'd
was...
forgotten
did
that
you?
because
you played
we
Space
did
Marine.
discuss it briefly on the now Patreon only episode, Are the Dark Angels Gay, which you could look forward to in the future. But yeah, we did. We played some Kill Team, Matt. Me and Stoney.
Oh, nice.
Out at the farm.
With your Gene Stealers.
That's right. We played.
Nice.
I had some Gene Stealer Cult, and she had various things. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I really like it. It's very good. People should play it. Yeah, that's my review. I've been thinking about getting more into it.
Yes, do it.
Yeah, I might do. I
It's
probably
such
should.
an easy game to intro people
I've been
to as
thinking
well.
about getting into this Warhammer stuff, guys.
But you're at the
Rolling some
right
dice.
place. Yeah.
What about you, though, Matt? Have you managed to get some hobby time in? It's been ages since we last heard from you.
Yeah, I mean, for most of that time, I haven't done anything either. I mean, I guess it's the summer. There's just lots of stuff going on. But I did actually get open my old box of Gaunt's Ghosts novels, and I've been reading a couple of the latest ones again, just because I was going on holiday. I went on holiday, and I thought, actually, I used to love reading them when I was going on holiday. So I read one by the pool, then I read one when I got home. I'm about to finish reading the last one, and yeah, that's inspired me to get painting again. So I've kind of been doing it last couple of weeks, dribs and drabs, working on the models that I started in the last episode that we all recorded together, and that I literally put one coat of color on and then left, with the intention of being done for that original thumbnail, but they never got done. So working on them and some Deathcore Krieg, what they call Death Riders. So a lot of guard stuff.
You've just
Commissar.
reminded me, Matt, of some relevant news talking about your Gaunt's Ghost there, because on my way to Hadrian's Wall to do my Imperial Fist research, I stopped off in Nottingham.
Oh, you did?
I stopped off in Nottingham, but the traffic in our bloody country was so bad, I didn't have time to go in to Warhammer World.
So what did you do? Just park outside?
Just drove past.
However, the mecca that is Nottingham for Warhammer nerds, right? I went into the town in the evening. I went to the pub. I went to a pub called the Old Trip to Jerusalem. It's a really old Crusader pub carved into the
It's the oldest
into the
pub.
foundations.
Is it the oldest pub? It's not the
It's
oldest
one
pub.
of
It's
them.
something
It's
like
close.
that.
They
They've got some kind of
yeah.
claim to fame. They've
It's
got
got a
that
cave.
they've got a really old ship in it, in a thing that's all covered in dust. And they're like,
That's it.
maybe it's the oldest model ship in a dusty case that you can.
The whole
It's
pub's
very
covered in dust, isn't
atmospheric.
it? Inside, yeah.
And I walked into the little bar, the little shady bar, and as I walked into the bar, I heard what I thought was a heated argument and turned out to be a strong debate between the barman and a punter over two people called Mad Larkin and
No
Colm
way.
Corbeck.
Oh,
I
really?
literally walked into the pub in Nottingham to hear two guys
That's so
discussing
funny.
Gaunt's ghosts and who their
Yeah.
favourite characters were, and immediately started a 40k
Oh,
conversation
no.
with the guys in the pub there. And
Oh, you
then
didn't
later
suggest a
on,
different character.
You managed to get
I
your fix in.
noticed I noticed that one of them was sat outside reading a Black Library book. So I still
Is
got
this
my
in the
little
evening?
taste of in the night time.
Ah,
Still
can't
got
get
my
up.
little taste of Warhammer in Nottingham. Which is
This
good.
is how far this new Games Workshop corporate reach has become. They've started paying actors to hang out in pubs around Nottingham. Pretty soon, they see Nottingham as the next expansion of Warhammer World, the whole town centre.
It was very cool.
Talking of Warhammer World, we haven't heard anything more about that US thing that they previewed a while back. You know, the USA Warhammer World.
Yeah.
There's been no previews. And
Maxi
actually,
Warhammer Mega
Yeah.
Empire Universe.
Warhammer Mega Universe Land.
Warhammer Universe lad.
And that reminds me, I no idea if this is true, but it came up on some social media that I was flicking through the other day, and it said that Games Workshop had been allowed like a break in tariffs.
Okay. That's exciting.
Which is kind of
man, it'd be sad if it turns
weird.
out like Baron Trump's a big Warhammer player, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, he's not.
I
He can't
wouldn't take too much heed of what tariff is what today because
Yeah,
by
that's
the
very
end of the
true.
week,
Yeah,
that tariff could
yeah.
be well different.
I mean, Baron Trump, he is like you could put him in some sort of imperial uniform, and he'd be a perfect imperial governor. He's like the archetype,
Yeah.
hereditary
He's a
peer.
That
fucking-
wanker you talked about the other day on Armageddon.
He's a fucking living demon. He's like a stretched out
Yeah.
person.
So he is like an imperial governor.
Yeah,
then.
it's like
Yeah, a stretched out
like
person.
that as soon as all the cameras turn off, his like head turns backwards and he like does that
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
crab walk up the wall and like gets into his nest in the corner of the room,
Yeah.
sits on
Yeah.
his pile of eggs.
Oh man, as soon as I've got some time, Stoney, I think I need to do the Baron Trump demon diorama. I think it's got
Oh yeah,
it's got to
yeah.
happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Stoney?
Oh well, I'm currently thinking about making a Baron Trump demon for the Welsh's diorama on ZBrush. But other than that, I mean, again, just like the fucking theme of the day, it's just been getting my ass kicked by real life. It's too fucking hot. Can't be asked to do fuck all. Although the only place that is cool is the office, which has air conditioning, which I could be in doing this like lovely stuff. But instead, I'm out toiling in the fields. And it's bullshit, and I'm not built for this. I'm too ginger for this bullshit. This is fucking nonsense, mate.
Finance, cutting edge technology. Accurate information is the Large Blast podcast news. Hear every episode.
Oh, mama, I'm sure you're all excited about the new Warhammer Plus stuff. Everyone out there's ready to really get excited about what you remember that thing, Warhammer Plus, right? Everybody that I think at least Matt is still a part of. Think Welsh might have quit, but what's going on with this? We've got new models for the Warhammer Plus members, so get excited. And could this be the year? Is it going to be the one that finally sways you to get this overpriced model and access to? What is it? What do you get access to?
Fuck all.
You get access to fuck all. You get £5 phone top up on promise at least. But yeah, so the new model is a dude with a shield, a space marine slaying an orc.
It's a cool model.
I was just
As
about
like
to say that.
Warhammer
Actually, I haven't
Plus
looked at
fucking
it.
models go.
Yeah,
It's a pretty cool.
I think that might
pretty
be the
cool
best
model.
one.
I wonder
pretty
whether
cool.
last year because they released that Eldar last year.
Yeah.
And maybe they've just convinced themselves that everyone's quit Warhammer Plus because they used an Eldar and not because the content's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. This Space Marine should have been in the fucking the Armageddon box set. There's no reason. Why did they pack that out with all that bullshit? Like, you remember they did all the veterans, and we were like, "Where's the shield? Where's all the nonsense hanging off him? Why is he on a rock? Why is he not?"
This guy's on
an
an
orc?
even bigger
This guy
rock.
gets it. This guy knows what it's about. He's up there. He's selling the range.
Yeah. You're right. It is a model straight out of that box set. It's like they realized they needed a Warhammer
It's like
Plus
they
model
made
and they
one
just
too
picked
good
one.
to put in the box set for
Yeah,
the Space Marine
swapped it
range.
around.
Yeah, man, it's just a great model. Although it is a straight rip of the one they did like a while back. I think you and I have both got, Matt. I think you used it as your Black Templar. It's like the top piece of your Dead
Yeah.
Orc mountain, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, is
It's a
Yeah.
that the
very,
Emperor's
very similar
champion
pose.
or something? Is
It
he?
was,
No,
I think it was
he's
a
No, it's
special
two.
Emperor's champion, was it?
something
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's got a similar thing going on. I mean,
Hmm.
orcs are feeling the brunt of this. If when it comes to rock watch, we need orc watch on the rocks here because this is a spicy rock watch. But it also comes with. Does it not have a Warhammer Fantasy version where he's also looks in the same pose, or am I making that up?
No,
I don't think
that's
so. There's the option to pick between that and
no,
this Plague Knight.
no. You get both this time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. They're
Yeah.
really trying to call people
Yeah.
back. But
Yeah.
how many people genuinely play both? That's such a weird.
I
But
don't know,
Age of
but I
Age of
quite like
Sigmar
that
is a bit on the
model.
out, isn't it? I thought they're like sort of sacking off a lot of Age of Sigmar
Mm.
stuff, aren't they?
Hmm.
So in a
I
way,
think
they're
that
a bit like, hey, if we give you an Age of Sigmar model, maybe just maybe you'll start playing Age of Sigmar.
That so we're looking at the Sigma model that's
I think
it's
it's a
like a
Plague
chaos,
Knight. I think that's
okay,
what it's
plague
supposed to
knight.
be.
I mean that you could put a square base on that and that wouldn't look out of place in fantasy.
Hmm.
So
You could. It's a simple conversion to 40k
yeah.
as well. To be
And
fair,
you
but
could, yeah.
it's one of those.
Anything but Age of Sigmar, you could convert it.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this has made one of the episodes that will actually air, Stony, but it's got that lovely grim dark Sigmar feel that we've talked about with these guys and with the Ogre range, the
Oh
new
yeah,
Ogre refresh, where like Sigmar models are more grim dark than 40k at the moment. And
definitely.
this
I
is
think they're
great.
taking a few more risks with the range because I mean we sort of said as well, like it was like with the original Nurgle releases for when they came out in that box set. Was it 8th or 7th or something? No, it must have been 8. Like that first redo was really cool and really refreshing at the time, but hasn't
Oh,
aged great.
Mm.
oh,
Like whereas this new Nurgle stuff looks really good, I think. And
Yeah.
a Nurgle is one of the ranges they keep fairly well topped up with. There's
mm.
always some decent Nurgle models about.
that that head option,
On
the one
the
with no
Plague
helmet.
Oh
Knight.
yeah,
I
it
Yeah,
looks like a
I like that.
looked like a shriveled ball sack.
yeah, it's great. It's really good.
I was sort of, I mean, I can't believe it's been a year since we last spoke about it, but I think I might just let mine re-go again. I like those two models. I might just paint that Space Marine
I
straight
don't know
away.
how
It's a
much it is.
perfect Black
If it's
Templar.
less than 30
Oh, it's gone
quid,
up.
if it's less than 30 quid, I'll do
It's
it.
not. It's not. It's gone up a little bit.
Well, then fuck them. I can make this.
But
I've got all the
also,
bits for that fucking. It's just a Space Marine. I
but
can just put an
also,
orc on the floor.
yeah. But also, we saw I haven't watched it. I need to watch the Aeronautica thing. It's really annoying. It doesn't work on my Amazon stick anymore on my TV, or at least some videos. It's really random. Some of the animations just don't load. They had a preview video. We're just looking at the web browser of what's that the famous Golden Demon painter. He's got an interview on there. I need to watch
Oh,
that.
I see.
And the Aeronautica Imperialis, but coinciding with this models, I haven't actually read anything about this, but from what I've read online, they've said that Astartes 2 is coming out in December.
Oh yeah, so an advert for that.
Yes.
What's
So
that like? When did the
that'll be on
original
Warhammer
one
Plus.
come out? In like 2022, was it? Something like
Maybe
that? Was
earlier
it
than
like,
that.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
long
Was it
old
like a
time ago.
15-minute long film? I can't remember. It wasn't very long, was it?
Oh man.
No.
I mean,
No.
so
No.
and
Well, I
then
guess that
and then
brings us.
they got them on board, didn't they? They were like,
Yeah,
come on board,
yeah.
Astartes guys. We'll make Astartes
It's been
2.
years.
Come on. So hopefully, is it like a full? Like, they're going to be a full thing? Or who knows? I don't know. But
I think
they were
so.
very cagey about it, like they were with
Yeah.
everything.
yeah,
I'm not sure if getting on board is the right word for threatening someone to
Yeah.
take down their entire
Yeah,
channel
yeah.
unless they join you.
Forcibly-
Blackmail might be a better.
yeah. Let's either
what's
get on
the
board or be
press gang?
thrown forcibly out of the moving vehicle, I guess.
I guess moving Warhammer images brings us to the next bit of news.
The flick book that I've made. So the TV stuff, was it all a myth? Was it all a big lie? Is Henry Cavill involved? Apparently there's been some news, some movement, some rumblings in the hills of Hollywood. What do we know, Welshie?
Well, as of we're recording this on the 30th of July, so a couple of days ago, we got some confirmation through various sources. I think it was linked to Games Workshop did their big financial report recently, saying how
Mm.
they're still making loads of money and stuff. And there was a couple of sentences in there which have now filtered their way through the various news agencies. And I'll give you the long and short of it. So, update. Cavill, our glorious leader, is still on board. He has not walked away, so that's put an end to those rumours. And they have brought on board and signed up a production company called United Artists, who,
Oh,
when I searched,
James Bond.
couldn't find too much about it. Yeah, there are some big things in
They've
there.
done loads. Yeah, they used to do
Yeah,
all the James Bond films.
and they apparently are known for like getting their arse in gear and getting stuff out quickly. But more excitingly, I think, which tells you a little bit more about the direction, they've pulled on board a guy called Mike Flanagan, who, when I looked this up, is really well known for writing horror series.
Great,
So you might have
great.
heard of The Haunting of Hill House
No,
Oh
on
yeah.
Netflix. And Midnight Mass, which is another
no,
series, but both quite critically well acclaimed, very dark, very horror. I mean, he's basically
great,
only got
great.
horror to his name.
Okay, that's a good sign.
He's also behind the upcoming Amazon Prime video series of Carrie, so he is horror related, and the new DC Universe film Clayface, which is based in the new R-Pat's Batman universe, and it's going to be a real kind of dark retelling of a man that gets scarred and becomes Clayface. So, signaling grimdark in every way that they possibly can by hiring him. I mean, that's the extent of the news, though. It's progressing. They've got a production company. They've got a big name writer on board.
Hmm.
Promising, but perhaps not as much as we'd hoped.
I mean, it's good. It's news. There's like, yeah. I'm like, I'd kind of forgotten about it until people start talking about it again recently.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they've also mentioned they will be doing another episode of 40K, another episode for Secret Level. Do you remember they did
oh
that
yeah,
Oh yeah.
great.
amazing
Yeah,
Titus
yeah,
one?
yeah.
However, it's going to be Sigmar and
Okay.
not
Ah,
40K,
fuck off.
which is disappointing.
What's the point?
But there will also be a Death Watch animation series. And I don't think I think this was all in relation to Amazon hosting and not Warhammer Plus hosting. So, I don't know, take that one with a pinch of salt. It seemed like
Okay.
more of a rumor, but yeah.
Hmm.
Stuff is coming. Who
Curious.
fucking knows when?
Interesting and
Nice.
curious.
Nice.
But I'm hoped. At least they didn't say great news, guys. We've delved into like the Amazon pool of writers, and we've pulled someone that's really good at faithfully adapting fantasy franchises. We've got the Rings of Power team.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Because I watched that fucking trailer, and there ain't no way Galadriel's friends with an orc. Fuck you, Bezos. You cunt. But I am excited to see how they write themselves out of the fact that they're bringing Celeborn in Series 3 and are going to have to somehow write the fact that Elrond's going to fall in love with and marry their daughter. So, who knows what they're doing with that piece of shit. Let's hope it's not the same. Rant over.
So Games Workshop have been up to some litigious bullshit again. And I'm going to have to... I've not got any of the names of any of this written down in classic Stony forget all the names of everything fashion. But basically, there was a creator on YouTube
His name is Propane Prod, like pro, pain, prod.
that received 30 copyright strikes all in one go, meaning that his channel was cut out, shut down. They were all received from Games Workshop, and they were all received as, copyright claims, whatever. And he wasn't able to change the videos or get them back up and all this kind of stuff, and basically completely fucked him. And his whole platform was not printing Games Workshop, had nothing to do with Games Workshop. It was just about showing people how to 3D print. It really didn't have anything at all to do with Games Workshop. And people looked into this, and basically what it is Games Workshop have
Started using an AI tool called MarkScan.
that basically is a thing that scans everything and looks for anything in your video that looks like it might be Games Workshop related. So it then basically sent its AI report to Gist, the new YouTube AI, and they then decided between them that what this was an infringement of Games Workshop's copyright on a level that had needed a 30 30 strikes all in one go, which essentially destroyed this guy's income and living. But one of the things that he was actually doing was he was printing the War Game Atlantics models,
Yeah.
the ones that look a bit like the Krieg stuff, and they were the stuff that got flagged on his videos. And he then took down all of that stuff, and it wasn't enough. YouTube said no, and he's still down. So
It's mad,
yeah,
isn't
bad
it?
times.
It sounds very similar, but with added AI to what they did in the last round, where essentially they just send out all of the legal claims before they've actually investigated anything
Yeah.
and put the willies up people. And then people are already, because it's American law, they're being charged for things before they've even replied to a letter. They're already racking up bills. It's
Yes,
mental.
it is
But in my
crazy.
head, I just thought, like, what if the plot line for the company of Games Workshop is the storyline of Warhammer? What if this foray into abominable intelligence pushes everyone away to something new and dark and medieval like Trench Crusade, and then like in 50 years' time people rediscover the master that was old school 40k, and you've got
Well,
miniatures archaeologists digging up
I feel
lofts.
like we stand on the precipice of the death of Age of Sigmar and the rebirth of Warhammer Old World, because they had a release recently, didn't they, that sold really well? Because
The Cathay.
I think there was a thing. Stop me if this is all bullshit, and like, because I think pretty sure this is something that I read on from somewhere from a dubious source. But the was it called Armageddon? Of course, it's called
Yeah.
Armageddon. You know, rocks in a box. That one that sold really badly.
Yeah, I bet it
and
did.
and didn't
That
do
doesn't
very well
surprise
at
me.
all. Whereas the old world stuff has like really outperformed, and it's this kind of thing where it's like, well, they've got these two different design ethics for both of those things, where it's like, you know, the old world stuff. Obviously, there's a timetable for it, but it's way less churn, isn't it? It's like, really think about this. This really needs to appeal to old fans. Blah 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 blah. You know, this is like a kind of a project of love in a way, or at least a project for people that love an aspect of Warhammer that has kind of gone. Whereas the 40k stuff is just like, right, it's been 3 years. Right, let's
Yeah.
do that, and
It's-
you know, and just
Yeah.
more Space Marines in the box. Keep the good ones for the Warhammer Plus.
I actually
mean-
think like the TV series and the games and stuff taking off could be the best thing that happens to the game franchise, because at some point all of that money is going to take over and become the main thing for the company, and maybe at that point they can take the foot off the gear a bit, Stoney, like you say, and go, you know what, let's spend 5 years before the new edition and really think things through.
Well, you say that,
Yeah.
but will it just be, you know, this kind of
But
like,
it's just a money.
it'd be the DLC mine where it would just be like, oh, you get half the box on the first year, and then for the next 5 years, you're just buying bits and bits more pieces.
I could tell you that my GW stock shares really did go up. I bought them with the intention of selling after 11th, and I didn't. I didn't sell them all. I sold
they're
some,
just gonna go up.
and I went, oh, I love it, but it's dropped since 11th. Since 11th, it's been down on the GW PLC stock.
Yeah, but it's still higher than it was like 2 months ago. So,
We'll see.
The Armageddon box is not yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I imagine if I walked into the Dice Saloon, they'd still have copies in there. I mean, there's just nothing in the box. So did you buy a box, Welshie?
I did. I got it.
Well, because you
Because
promised
I
that
got
you
a good
needed to
deal,
paint
and
the
because I
Space Marines.
promised on the
Yeah.
episode that I would do some videos on it. But I've got it in the room, and I fucking every time I walk in the room, I see it and I hate it. It's the worst art. Some of not just the worst box art. It's some of the worst art GW's ever fucking produced. I put it on ChatGPT and I asked it to make a better version, and in 30 seconds it did.
Right.
It tweaked everything. It tweaked the scale. It tweaked the color balance. It tweaked everything, and it was so much better. And yeah, I'm basically going to throw the box away and put it all in the Leviathan box, because that's nearly empty now after 3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It just they should learn from that, hopefully. That if they want to do it every 3 years, fine. Although I hate that. But make it good. Make it something that people will buy.
The recent box set feels like a sort of like a pinnacle of a lot of their bad decisions, all sort of manifesting in one box. You know, bland shit, not thought through very well, put out
Rushed.
like sloppily, crap rocks. You know, just not one of their finest moments.
And I did get an email a few weeks ago that was like a balance update. But other than that, I haven't really tuned into like people playing the game and stuff. I don't really think 40k is really where it was, what, 8 years ago?
I
Or
don't know. I
even
think the
like
competitive
6.
scene is massive. I think it's just a different style of play to what we used to love.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
it's yeah.
It's funny. I met someone the other day, and I was talking to them about 40k, and I told them that I'd actually played the game and like had miniatures and stuff, and they were like, "Oh wow, it's so rare that you meet someone," because they were like, "40k is like so many hobbies." Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might be into,
yeah.
so you might be into the. So it's like to meet someone that actually got to the stage of playing a game feels like a lot rarer than being someone that like
Mm.
just bought models or like read a book or something at this stage. So it's kind of like yeah, like, but that is what it's all about. Is it maybe drifting away from that and more into the kind of the?
I
But then
think what
saying all
I've
of that, I thought Kill Team was fucking great. So
Kill Team is
yeah,
great. It's a great game. It's great fun to paint the models, and it doesn't turn over quite as quick as 40k. What I've definitely noticed over the past year as the new stuff churn, it increases. And I think this might be just people our age and a bit older getting more online with stuff, is an increase in the amount of old edition content. There's a hell of a lot of like second ed, third ed playing content,
Yeah,
bright green
yeah,
bases, old hammer painting.
yeah.
Some of the markets for like old cardboard terrain are going through the roof. I think we're going to see more of that. I think the more they do the endless refresh, the more people will pick an edition,
but
and especially in
the
cities where
crazy
there's
thing
enough
is that
people,
old
play it.
stuff is the stuff that feels different now.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's not like every new release. It's a bit like graphics with. I mean, I think we were talking about this the other day as well. But it's like the leap between graphics between like the fucking snares and the PlayStation was like massive, wasn't it? It's like
Yeah.
noticeable. And then it's like, oh, now if you've got a PS4 and a PS5, obviously they're better graphics, but it's not like so much better that it's like you could still get a shitty PS5 game that might look like a PS4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
And
kind
there's
of like,
plenty of people
and
buying
but like,
remasters. That's what
well,
I kind of
but
think of the
yeah.
old stuff, like paint a metal model like Mamicon is
Mm,
like, it's like you loved this, but we can do it better now because
mm,
of technology. So we're going to reframe something that was great.
yeah.
That I still, I mean, I've mentioned it a few times, like with the Mordian kill team and stuff. And the Games Workshop, I think, will move more into that. The whole Warhammer Fantasy rebirth was definitely because they saw the market was increasing, like people collecting Bretonians on eBay. The market was increasing. They've put their foot back in that door. People are probably buying maybe less stuff on eBay. They're buying fantasy models. Games Workshop have done that well because it's a mix of old models, new models. As you say, Stoney, it's like a slightly slower pace to 40k. I think we'll see it more and more in 40k. Didn't they, a few years ago, didn't they re-release a second edition or a first edition box that you could buy?
It was the square one with the Dark Eldar on, wasn't it? Or the
Yeah,
square one with the
you
Dark
could
Angels. It was one of the like old school square ones.
like I do think the a weird guard kill team would fit quite well in that. Mordians and Praetorians sell for so much on eBay. There's a massive market there. The Victorian miniatures have just had a massive
Those
uh
guys really are sailing close to the bone, but they look
but they but
great.
they but they've been around for like since 2000.
Yeah.
The guy won Golden Demons with his own models, which you couldn't get away with now.
No.
But like, yeah, they are sailing very near the sun. Yeah, I think we'll see more from Games Workshop, and I hope so. And I hope they just slow down and bring back what 40k felt like. I've had no interest to look at what 11th edition is like.
Just bring
Even if
back
I had the
Korkamorka, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they're running out of things to bring back, though, I guess. So maybe that
It's only
and
a matter
Battlefield
of
Gothic.
time
Yeah,
for Lost Patrol finally gets the
Lost
update
Patrol
that
2.
is needed.
Rolling in my 6-4.
Knowledge, the brittle truth found in the questioning minds of humans. Indeed, without questions, we would live in a grim and dark world. indeed. Questions like, will the Emperor ever return? What can be done to stop the Xenos threat? How can three grown men who host a Warhammer podcast continue to get basic Warhammer lore wrong? Well, today we are here to answer these questions as we throw open the halls of debate and invite you, the listener, to ask the burning questions you have longed to know the answers to. Our first question is from Jason, who asks, what do you think will happen when the Lion and Reboot Gullyman finally sit down for a chat?
So what do we think is going to happen when the Lion and Ghouliman finally have a sit down?
Well, they won't sit down, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They'll be shouting and screaming, hollering
think
at
the
each other.
first thing they will do is call their serfs for a large ruler so that they can flop their dicks out on a table
Yeah.
and measure
Yeah.
who's biggest. I think that's what's probably
Open
gonna
up the
happen.
cod pieces.
That's right, yeah. I think sadly, if I'm being honest, I think very little. But because Games Workshop doesn't really like pushing the envelope in modern lore. But I would hope that the Lion stands his ground to Gilliman and says, "What the fuck are you doing, brother? This isn't our Emperor's dream. This isn't what Daddy wanted." And there's some kind of schism in the Imperium between the way Gilliman's running things and the way the Lion wants to actually do his father proud rather than run an empire himself, which is like an extension of that storyline in Imperium Secundus, not Imperium Secundus. Yeah, Imperium Secundus in the Horus Heresy.
I kind of worried that would be the reality in real life, but I kind of think, or at least I kind of hope that the Lion is a bit more pragmatic when he sees Gilliman, and actually he recognizes that Gilliman has tried in ways to sort of get the Imperium to be less Imperium in the 100 years or so that he's been back. And the Imperium's a mess. It's like 10,000 years, 8,000 years without Primarch. Like the dogma, the superstition, that everything that we know and love about the Imperium is very hard to change. And I think he'd probably recognize that, but I think he'd still be annoyed about it. Those emotions would be the same. I imagine that he would be pragmatic to a point and then sort of suggest that he leaves Gilliman to it and just goes off and does his own thing. And I think in a way, maybe that would help Gilliman if the Lion goes off and starts some big campaigns and crusades somewhere else. And
like an agree to disagree
policy. Agree to
Hmm.
disagree. It's a good question. It's nice to talk about what might happen in the lore ahead of time rather than talking about the established lore that we mostly talk about. So I think that's a good question.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd hope that this sort of ideas get a bit of chance to breathe now that the Emperor's finally out of, now the established stuff is finally gone and done with. But I mean, I do think that there's got to be some sort of schism. Maybe there could be like a split in the universe. We talked about civil war many times, but there has to be some sort of conflict between them, I think. But in many ways, are they not just like are they not just different ends of the same snake eating its own tail? You know, is it like is the Lion not the head and Bobby G just the tail? Like the Lion just wants to start again, basically, and just do the same thing that the Emperor did, and then Ghouliman's just at the end of that, not really doing anything, right? So I mean, wouldn't it just
have an
be
image
like
of them on a double-ended dildo?
Yeah, they're basically
they're kind of human centipedes.
They're kind of imagine they've 69 and got kind of balled up and rolling down a hill. That's sort of like where I think that we're going with this.
You don't really see that many double-ended dildos in porn anymore.
Is it going to be like on Step Brothers once they've measured their dick? They're exactly the same size and they high five and get down to it. You know,
I guess so.
Become best friends. Yeah, I think sadly it's the quieter options, but I would like to see it. I think they're going to edge us for a lot longer, Jason. I think we're going to get a lot
Yeah.
more rounding up the fallen. I think the best you can hope for in the near future maybe is a run in with Luther or some kind of Luther
Yeah.
related storyline. That Cypher book that came out years ago might come to fruition. I think they're going to keep those two apart for a while.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing as well. Is like they need some of these established secrets like the cipher and all of that sort of stuff. Like they can't just. What if Bobby G sits down with the lion and says, what if he flips it on him? He's like, what's going on with you? What's going on behind this door over here? Oh my god. It's a bunch of chaosy shit. What's going on with Luther? What's going on with Cypher?
God,
Do you know what I mean? What if he says like, no, actually, you're the one that's like needs to shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm worried now because that could be how Games Workshop write in that they don't meet. That like Gilliman doesn't want to meet the lion because the lion will have a go at him and he knows it. And the lion doesn't want to meet Gilliman because Gilliman's going to ask loads of questions and he knows it. So they just Games Workshop will just say that'll just be the storyline. That'll be the storyline for like 5 years.
Literally, the reason they don't come to blows 10,000 years prior to this, before they'd even, like when they were functioning in the same universe, is because Sanguinius stops them. And that ain't happening. I can't see Dante getting in the middle of them, but maybe that'll be Dante's final move. Maybe he'll finally be allowed to rest when he stands in between that punch between brothers.
Maybe he just gets punched by two Primarchs really hard. He's like, oh, my pancreas and liver have exploded. And just as he's laying on the floor, he hears Sanguinius' head being like, I fixed your pancreas and liver. You live on. It's like, fuck.
Or, yeah, maybe they'll meet when Lehman Russ comes back.
Yeah, I think, well, maybe this leads into your next question, Jason.
That's right, Welshie. Jason's second question is, who is the King in Yellow?
So I don't know whether he means have we heard anything more about the King in Yellow? If you do, then the answer's no, beyond what's in the Beckwin novel. So maybe the question is more, what do we think is going on with the King in Yellow?
Well, the King in Yellow is like something which, before I really knew about it in Warhammer, it was something which I was kind of aware of because it's a literary trope, the King in Yellow. And it's never really meant to be discovered. So it is like literally like, it's. I don't think that it's ever really going to be expanded upon. It's supposed to be like a kind of a thing that doesn't really exist. Like a kind of a shared dream, a shared illusion, or something.
I think that was definitely the case in the first of the Beckwin trilogy, and that's what everyone was saying, Stoney. You're right. A bit like in the Son of the Forest Lion book, there was a lot of talk of the fisherman and the literary trope of the man by the river, you know. But then it really does indicate in that second Beckwin book that the King in Yellow is Valdor. And I think that is a very interesting storyline that we have discussed. The implication, as far as anyone other than Dan Abnett's head is aware, is that the King in Yellow is 80% Valdor, and there is an army of Space Marines with wings. And beyond that, very little is known. So if we take that as fact, that's what I mean about linking to that previous question is, if Valdor comes back all guns blazing in the true name of the Emperor, does either of the brothers side with him, or do they team up against what he wants to do? Because he is not going to be happy. Like, if we think the Lion's not going to be happy, the guy that literally can't break from the Emperor's will is going to be even more unhappy.
This is just for like the kind of people, I've talked about it before, but when there was normal Space Marines and Grey Knights came out and everyone was like, whoa, they're just like the coolest Space Marines ever. And then Custodes, this is just the next thing up for people that were like, no, Custodes are too lame for me. I need winged Space Marines that come from the past. From where the King in Yellow was birthed from his fucking weird cloak or whatever. It's like, I don't know. That sounds like too overpowered to exist, surely, on the battlefield or anywhere, even in the lore. Valdor comes back with his horde of angels.
Yeah,
yeah.
He because in the books, It's insinuates that he's sort of hidden away somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's in. I can't quite remember. It's been bloody ages since I read it. It's either like a pocket dimension, or it's part of the
Yeah.
warp, or it's not. It's not
Okay.
real space. Put it that way. It's
Yeah. Okay.
something
That
they
was
fall into.
okay. That's funny because
I think.
I was sort of thinking along the lines of being in the warp, and then what if like the winged space marines are what are they called? The Legion of the
I
Damned
was
in
wondering
some
that.
description.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Lost Region. I
Yeah.
know the other real life fourth wall breaking bit for the conversation here is that there were some quite heavy rumors around the delay, and the delay being something to do with Dan Abnett knows the answer for the third book, but has been asked to hold it back either because of where they're going with the Amazon series, or at the time where they were going with 11th. But 11th seems to have moved the dial so little
Hmm.
that I don't know what they're doing with it. But it was always the implication that the third Beckwin novel would change the face of 40k quite
I
significantly.
I
Because
s-
it's not
I
just the King in Yellow, it's the Annuncia stuff as well. It's like the
right.
spec power of the like special language that's been running throughout all of Black Library.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think there's so many easy to answer questions and things in 40k going forward and stuff. I mean, like we've talked about it so many times. We knew what the fucking story was, and we bought the books for like 10 years. It was like
Yeah,
it all
yeah.
led to exactly where we knew it was going. It was everything was on the cards from the beginning. The die was cast, and there's no way that they're going to suddenly be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, reveal
It's
this
all
King in
different.
Yellow shit." This shit's going to be
Yeah.
around for decades before anything comes of this.
The only thing I wonder, going back to the warp, is we've often spoken about how they could delve more into how the Emperor is still present in the warp, and we've spoken about the idea of Imperial demons and how in Cadia, the fall of Cadia, you saw how all of the people like the Legion of the Damned sort of disappeared, and the powers that Sisters of Battle have and the Saints disappeared because they are Imperial demons. Therefore, they must exist in the warp dimension. So there must be an element where the forces of the Imperium
Mm.
are actually present in that other, what is it, the other dimension, and that there is actually some sort of conflict between the Imperium and the demonic forces that live in the warp. There must be some sort of because where do the Imperial demons go when they're not in real space? They go back to the warp. So what do? Do they just sit next to to a chaos demon? Like
Well,
there
I
must
think
be
that
some sort of
this might
conflict.
actually lead quite nicely on to Jason's next question.
Thanks, Jason, providing questions and segues. This
I
is
know.
very professional.
Yeah.
Jason's final question is, what happens to non-chaos aligned humans when they die?
So, do they go to heaven? Right,
No.
guys?
No.
But it's a good.
but I
Some
think
of them seem to,
but I
like
think that,
Celestine, for instance.
well, yeah,
you know?
that's true, yeah. But is it not they also go to the warp?
Yes,
Right?
they also
Yeah.
get
before
feasted
the
on by
warp
demons.
was but before the warp was overrun by dirty humans, it wasn't such a terrible place, as from what I understand. Because apparently, like, in Warhammer 40k lore, the warp already exists, and it's just full of human souls right now, right? And it's just made by human
No,
emotion and
But I
things.
don't think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's the souls
Yeah.
of the soul. I
Hmm.
bet it's what Matt's saying there. I suppose like the souls of all living things go to the warp, don't they? But
Yeah.
if you're an orc, you're protected by Gorkamork. If you worship a chaos god, you go to their realm, which may or may not be a fucking good thing.
Yeah.
And maybe the Emperor does have his own partial realm now carved out within the warp, but only has enough space for the best of the best.
Yeah,
and if you're just someone in the
he owns a
subhive,
couple of little
oh.
chefs in the warp, a couple of roadside style buffets,
So I think-
The main one
then-
in pawn shops that you can go. And
Oh
work in.
the
Clean
weird
up
What's
the
the-
loads.
down the M1.
Yeah. What is, how does, I know we're going back a question, but how does Valdor, what's the insinuation that it's Valdor? Could it be the Emperor? I know we've had all these conversations a long time ago, but you just
I'm
said
pretty sure
like,
it says it. I think it's
Okay, all right.
there's like a slow translation of something that says Constantine or says Valdor or something.
Valdor.
So like the the human soul dying and being consumed in the warp, unless you're incredibly lucky, or you're incredibly rare and you're one of the 1,000 souls fed to the Emperor every day, in which case he consumes your soul.
And your soul can be obliterated entirely, can't it? I'm sure
Yeah.
some weapons
Yeah,
we've
I think
looked
that's
at
yeah.
completely
But
destroy you.
but if there is imperial forces or imperium, like former imperial forces in the warp, like the good humans, the saints, the emperor, they must consume some of the human souls that are going into the warp, and that would be like some form of heaven. It'd be like a heaven hell mix where the person's soul goes into the warp and they are literally met by the emperor, who then consumes them.
Consumes
Or
them
maybe
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
or maybe
Just
maybe
like
they join
snorts them
them.
up like a load of cocaine.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that's the emperor's just been having a party for 10,000 years.
I think the
Welcome to
simplest
the
answer to
party.
the question is, unless you're incredibly lucky, you're just as fucked as the chaos guy that dies. I
Yeah.
think that's.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It is hard to say, isn't it? I think that's as much as it is hard to say, like, what happens when you die now, right?
Yeah. I think if you're worried about it, Jason, get yourself to a shop and buy yourself a soul stone. You know, because that's the only way you're going nowhere.
But I do think that there must be, if the goodies quote unquote are in the warp, they must be doing the same thing that the chaos demons do and consuming human souls.
But there'd be all sorts of, like, if it is just everything goes to warp, then there'd be all sorts of, like, all the extinct, there'd be some Zotes kicking about, like all these weird, anything that had a soul and could go there. So obviously no Tau, but you know, there'd be going to be plenty of other aliens and things in there.
Yeah,
I would have thought.
It's definitely a realm I think we all.
Oh no,
want
because it does
explore.
actually say that it sort of comes. It is humans, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
mostly.
I think it is.
It is mostly
No, but
humans.
it's
There's
Eldar
sometimes
as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure the orcs is just because of Gork and Mork that they don't.
It's the
Yeah, I think
humans
the
that
orc-
really
yeah.
expanded it. The human stuff really
It is,
like
'cause it's
it
all
made
our-
it
all our
explode.
stuff.
Yeah.
But then is it maybe it's just the kind of the collective human unconscious, you know, like if it's just like if we were all building a person, if every human alive
the
got
Emperor?
together and like in some kind of like megazord,
Well,
then
that's
what kind of person
that
what
is
would that be?
humanity fueling the warp is the Alpha Legion Cabal response, isn't it? The Cabal
that's
wants
true.
total annihilation so that
that's
the warp
right.
dies, basically.
Yeah,
So
the warp is
yeah.
the real enemy.
The only
work
other
out
thing I wondered with what I was saying about the human souls, and one of you mentioned like 11th edition not moving the dial forward that much, which it really hasn't.
Literally returned to a planet from a previous edition.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have moved it less.
Yeah. The only thing it did do was it had the Emperor in the trailer. And maybe there's some sort of linkage with it mentions the consuming souls. No, I know, but like maybe that is
But like even the
back to
Emperor was rolling in his grave when he saw this shit.
Oh, it was a great trailer. But
Well,
maybe maybe that does link in with the idea of the King in Yellow being in the warp.
Yeah.
And
it's also been
that Emperor's thing is
it's been a long time since the Zotes at this point. Not the Zotes, the Votan. You know, we are overdue a new faction. And with space being mostly explored, who knows where it's coming from, but hopefully somewhere exciting like this.
The next question we have comes from Jimmy in Norway, who asks, the Creamy Hogs Marines have a long and storied background, no doubt, but let us not forget the Emperor's own sledgehammer, the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard has many regiments with different aesthetics and ways to fight. If the large blast were to make an Imperial Guard regiment, how would they look? how would they fight?
So this is a bit like our backwards reversing of our Space Marine legions. But if we were going to make a Imperial Guard legion, what would it be like?
Oh, this is
this
is a great
excellent
question.
question.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a whole episode on this. Like, I think we should just accept this and do an episode. This is. Maybe we should discuss what the formula would be, and then maybe we should sit down and talk about it. I think this could be good.
All right, well, let's at least come up with our name. Let's get the naming convention and come up with the names for our guys.
Well, mostly the regiments are named after the planets, and then you get like a nickname.
It's like a sports team. It's like an American sports team, basically. You've got to be like the, with the Bengal Tigers. No, that's just a tiger. But like, with the Washington Short Legs, or the, that sort of things, isn't it? They're all called.
Yeah. Well, what about? Like I say, I might have fucking building walls on my brain at the moment, but we need a planet. And what I can't think of is a guard regiment that's particularly like wall building or fortification based. We've got trench fighters.
Okay, yeah.
We've got I can't think of like the engineer corps, like the Imperial Fists would be. But I'm thinking our favourite planet is Birmingham. What about the Birmingham Builders?
Yeah.
Birmingham Builders.
The Birmingham Builders.
The Birmingham bricked up bastards.
The Birmingham Brickies.
The
Birmingham Brickies. All right, I think we can run with Birmingham Brickies.
But that's like their the name that they kind of write about themselves.
Yeah,
but
and instead, you know how
really...
like Krieg have like a shovel, like the Birmingham Brickies have just got like half a brick in a sock.
Yeah, I thought, what's the trowel? Yeah, half a brick in a sock.
Yeah.
But they also need to be like, if you want a good guard regiment, you need it needs to be like their official name needs to be like the Birmingham 597th Siege Regiment or something.
Yeah, and then they're called the Birmingham.
They're called the Birmingham Brickies. Yeah,
they're known for excellent mortar teams.
Yes. Yeah. Loads of mortars. Oh, this is brick jokes.
That's what we've got to here. This is what you've driven us to, Jimmy.
It's so funny that you mentioned Birmingham. I was going to send it in our chat, but I didn't in the end, and it came up on something, might have been Instagram. Someone had done like a video saying about how it was like the stupidest, like the stupidest imperial planet, and it's quite funny.
He's stupid. It's the best one. What's he talking about?
Thousands of views breaking down every bit of information about Birmingham rather than just singing its praises like us. Coming up with masonry puns.
Yeah.
Oh, they could have the Masons. The secret people.
Yeah, that's
maybe
like
they could call they could call their commissars Masons. They sometimes have different names for their commissars.
Yeah.
And instead of shoes, they've got bricks on their feet. Like they're all a bit bigger because they've got like brick shoes,
Everyone frowns upon them because they've got their funny handshake.
Yeah. And they've got really rough hands. Like, have you ever held a bricklayer's hand? Have you ever held it? Have you guys ever just taken a bricklayer tenderly by the hand? Like,
instead of
that's calluses on the next level.
You know how like the World Eaters have got their fighting pits. What about these guys just have those slapping competitions, where like two blokes stand up each other and slap each other with big old hands?
But they're both holding a brick and they just smack each other. They're all dumb as fuck. They've all just like got CTE at the age of 14.
Have you seen any of those videos of bricklayers? Like, it's like day in the life of a bricklayer. They get, because a lot of them get paid per brick. So in the summer, they can lay like hundreds of bricks, and they're just, these guys do videos and they're like, today I've laid over 1,000 bricks, and it's like, look at my wall. They could do like bricklaying competitions, and
there's some guy like running to the other side, getting in an enemy tank and shooting down one of their own walls so they can brick it back up again. Earn a few more quid.
Well, maybe that could be the thing about their siege weapons is actually they all just shore up of existing walls. They've got like massive cannons, but they just fire like a nice plaster finish over a wall, or like
Or those like metal cross things that hold walls up. You know, they just fire.
Oh, yeah.
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 Or you think, oh no, it's the heavy flamer, and it just shoots out a lovely spray. It just sprays, it's like paints a Dulux undercoat over.
Oh, look at the render on that. Yeah.
Well,
That's quite a good idea. That's quite a good idea for a regiment, though. Like when there's been a breach in the defences, you call them up.
Handymen.
They're like,
they're just the imperial handymen.
But you are right. Like in some ways, that sort of regiment doesn't really exist in the Guard lore, where they're not really siege warfare, but they're kind of defensive imperial fist versions in the Guard. Yeah, I think that's quite.
You've got your like you say, trench warfare. That's fairly good, like defenses and stuff. I feel like these guys, they're more like your Lawrence Llewellyn Bowens, your like grand design home.
Well, they can be like that.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like because they're doing they're like Birmingham. It's not under attack a lot, right? So they've built all the big defensive walls. They've done all of that. They've wallpapered them. They've had a couple of brick slapping competitions. They're looking for stuff to do. So I think now they're doing like house renovations where, you know, when someone on Birmingham is out down the mines, they go to their hovel shack and like lay a load of bricks there and put up a couple of, you know, plants.
Well, like 60-second makeover.
They do 60-second makeover, but they're all dumb as shit because they've been having these brick slapping competitions. So they put like every room's got a toilet in the corner, you know, stuff like that. Like
they could have the most famous Brummie of all, General Oswald Osbone.
Yeah.
Some kind of riff on the main man himself.
Our next question comes from the tightest buns in town, Jeff, who asks, if the Primarchs were to play a Warhammer Old World army, what faction would they choose?
a lot to digest there, boys. But shall we do Primarchs with the Old World army? So, what if all the Primarchs were going to have a big game at Old World? What armies do you reckon they'd be bringing? I mean, I think Kurz, obviously, vampire counts.
Yeah, that's straight up. Not even a discussion there, really, is there?
Fulgrim, depending on pre or post chaos, depends on Dark or normal Eldar.
Yeah.
Do you think? Oh, not Eldar. What are they called? Elves.
Dark elves. Yeah.
I
think.
I mean, I guess that you can't do like I mean, Angron can't just bring Khorne. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Like,
I mean, it does seem like cheating, but I think probably is the case though, isn't it?
Maybe he could bring Norse Wildmen. It's like we can't just assign him his own army, but in the in the old world.
Okay, so we're kind of ignoring the existence of chaos in the old world.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I think let's go through the old world armies and assign a Primarch. I think that's the easier way to do it. So I think Wood Elves has got to be the Lion, right? Son of the Forest.
No,
he wants to win.
So the only thing I was thinking,
but he's really knighty though. Isn't
I was just going to say Bretonnian knights. Yeah. But you're right about the elves, the Wood Elves. I think he is Wood Elves.
Is Dawn more knighty?
No. I think Dawn is the Empire of Man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've never really understood the difference between like Bretonians, the Empire, like all
They're two different nations, mate. You can't. That's like saying chalk and cheese. Do you ever knew what Sigmar did for you? You can't say something like that. I can't believe it's the word. I can't believe
they all look the same.
I can't believe I've heard you compare.
They're all the fucking same.
But they are. They've got different weapons in the.
Bretonians are just Empire on horses, aren't they?
No. But also, there are other smaller factions, and I've been trying to think. So one of the best fantasy armies is based on the Italian states. Like there's a Leonardo da Vinci thing, this character. I can't think.
It's more humans. It's a different human faction.
I can't think of who they would be, but there are other interesting human factions.
Wouldn't the Italians be like Sanguinius or someone?
Oh yes.
How many Primarchs can we knock out with some of these random human factions? Like, they've got the wolfy, they've got the like kind of the
Oh, they have got the Norse.
the Norse
But
guys
but
as well.
also there's the Beastmen. Could Leman Russ be
No.
Maybe Angron would gel with the
Beastmen.
plight of the Beastmen,
or the Ogrins?
and it does free up the Norse for Russ then.
Yeah.
Russ has got to be the Norse.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Angron would like the plucky Beastmen rising
We've got
up
to
against
go-
the oppressor.
Well,
Yeah.
Khan would have those. What are they called? The
The new
Chinese
Katay army.
Yeah.
the Katay. That's got to be the Khan.
Skaven for Mortarion.
Oh yeah,
yes.
he's a dirty boy. I was thinking
Ah.
that Alfaris would have to be Slan with his like dabblings
Ooh.
with the. Did
So
Slan
would he
have a
just
full
be-
army in Old
No,
World?
No,
they're
but
part of the
they're-
lizard men.
Yeah, but I think that
Well,
they're
Lizardmen's got to be
mysterious, aren't
salamanders, isn't it? Surely.
they? Oh yeah, of
They
course.
wear drake hides.
My
they
goodness, of
literally
course.
dragon people.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're excellent
they-
converting bits from a
You know
from a-
how in your army book you can have very different armies. Maybe they both play salamanders, but their armies are very different. So the Alfarius plays Slan heavy, lots of characters, lots of giant frogs floating around, and the Vulcan plays like pure lizard men, no Slan, and it's like
yeah.
they're way more
styles.
green. They're more on the green tinge.
Yeah, definitely. All right, okay. Well, what about the more out there stuff then? Who's doing Tomb Kings?
Hmm.
Oh, it's got to be Magnus.
Okay, loves the
Because
style.
Yeah.
he likes controlling dust men
Yes,
around,
Egyptian.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sort of
you can
Egyptian,
imagine him
Egyptian adjacent.
wearing. Yeah, he could wear the costume. He's the kind of guy that's going to turn up in costume.
Yeah, exactly. And he's used to hanging around with a bunch of like basically mummies. It'd be
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
It'd just be like, yeah.
All his dust.
And he's red.
And he's red. Goes
Yeah.
well.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who other ones are there? Who's left? Bring them
Well,
on.
we got dwarves, haven't we? Is that someone like Ferrus Manus? Over the forge, the dwarves are very weapon forge heavy, hammer heavy.
They are. They got cannons. They got helicopters.
And he's the
The,
shortest because he got his head cut off.
Yeah, yeah.
What the I was going to call them the Lunar Wolves. What are they called? The Horus. The
Horus. What would Horus want? Is that what
Oh,
it's-
Horus, yeah.
I mean,
what's the Legion called? I've forgotten what it's called.
they
Black
were the
Legion,
Lunar
well,
Wolves.
they-
They're the
yeah,
sons of
the- then-
Horus now.
yeah.
The
But
Sons of Horus. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Horus.
I mean, I never
Horus would
understood
be-
that Lunar Wolves thing. Like, surely the Space Wolves must have been pissed off when it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like because like I think that one of them got the name first. And they're like, I'm going to be called the Space Wolves, and he's like, I'm going to be called the Lunar Wolves. It's like,
is that
you
why they lean
fucking
so much
bastard.
into wolf? The space wolves.
I think they have
it's
to,
got
yeah.
nothing
What,
to do with
go-
And
mutation.
he's like, yeah, well,
Extra.
that's the thing
Yeah,
that really
yeah.
must be even more annoying. It's like, why are you calling yourself wolves? You've got like eyes on you or something. That's your big thing. It's bullshit.
All right.
I mean,
Anyway.
that's where the name sort of wrote the law on its own, didn't it? Like
Yeah.
Horus had to be a traitor so that his legion
Just
could
to make
change
it
their
less
name.
confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
What
the
have we,
Space Wolves couldn't change their name because they're way too wolfy.
And they're too committed, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. How confusing would it be if the Space Wolves got named the Sons of Russ and then
What old world armies have we missed? What haven't we got someone assigned for?
So we've done Tomb Kings, Vampire Counts, Beastmen, Lizardmen, Tomb Kings.
we haven't done
I mean,
ogres
Ogres.
Yeah, I
or
thought we
Chaos
did.
Dwarfs.
Oh yeah, Chaos Dwarfs.
But then have we got any
Chaos
Primarchs
Dwarves.
left?
Chaos Dwarves would be Perturabo, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
There's
Angry
yeah.
little technological
Absolutely.
fuckers.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's the High Elves because we've done Wood Elves. There's the High Elves.
High elves. That's Gilliman. Or maybe Sanguinius.
No, I think that's Gilliman.
Yeah.
I think that's yeah.
No, he'd just be the most normal men, wouldn't he? Gilliman. He'd just be who's the
I
most
think-
normal men?
No,
Matt?
because-
Like, I guess what's normal? Am I being racist?
Yeah. Well, in the playable armies, there's the technically the Italian state. What are they called?
The name of the Old World Italian faction is Tilia.
They were an army, but a long time ago. Bretonia, We haven't done
what's
We've
the-
missed
Britannia.
orcs, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Of course.
And goblins. Are goblins a separate army?
Yeah. You know what?
I think it's orcs and
I
goblins.
reckon Gudeman plays orcs. It's like that's what he really wants.
He's
like,
really it helps him relax.
Yeah,
He's actually a
into
really
the
cool
codex
guy.
and shit. Whereas actually all he wants is to just be like, yeah, strap a loincloth off and go, yeah.
Yeah. When he's not at that Excel spreadsheet, he's a real cool guy at the gaming table.
Yeah,
Old
exactly.
Gilliman.
He's just throwing them about.
I think who did we say the empire was?
I don't
I
know.
think
Who's
Dawn?
Dawn.
Yeah.
Dawn. I don't think we've given Britannia.
Okay.
Maybe if we weren't playing to the race card. Can't think of a better way of putting it.
Are you about to say if we weren't playing to the race cards, we'd play to the horse card and give them to the card?
Khan could play. Yeah, Khan could play Britannia because they're basically motorbikes but on horses. And you can charge like across half the board with Bretonian Knights. Like the Bretonian Knights are like all over the board. I think the Khan would play Bretonian.
They're very French. Who's the most French Primarch?
I mean, I
I
thought that was
think
the
we
Lion,
basically
but
have we got what Primarchs have we got left? We assigned Slan to Alfarius. We haven't done my main man Corvus.
Oh, of course. He could be night goblins. Those night goblins. They hang out in caves and they're a bit forgotten.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like there's anyone for him. There's no kind of gothic styled bird.
Well, yeah,
people.
he could be vampire counts again, like because there's
like him and Kurz again playing different styles.
But exactly.
Maybe
Kurz because there's Tomb Kings and
ogres.
Vampire Counts. There's Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts. Not Tomb Kings. There's another one as well.
Maybe Kurz is better as ogres
yeah.
because there's so many. They're all cannibals, aren't they? They're walking around with bits of people hanging off themselves. Maybe Lorgar's the only one we let play demons.
Like, he's got to be something. He's got to be something lame. He's going to be like, who's the Belgium of the olden days or something like that? You know, who's a really lame one?
Lame, Stoney.
I think we've done a good job there. There's not an equal amount of armies and Primarchs is what we found from this discussion. And we've got the big names in there.
Maybe Horus would play Bretonian.
In Warhammer Total War, you've got the Vampire Coast as well, that are like pirate vampires, that guys who died at sea.
Okay.
So maybe not Korax, maybe Kurz could be vampire pirates.
Yes.
And we could have Korax could be vampire counts. Your more classic romantic vampire.
Okay, that works.
Not Sanguinius. Yeah,
no, Sanguinius is either high elves or those Venetians that you were talking about.
Oh, he plays Tau. He brings a Tau army. He doesn't give a fuck. That's what happens.
We all know 3D printing is here to stay, but what would 4D printing look like?
Well, the fourth dimension is time, isn't it? So instantaneous printing.
So that printing has already begun.
Yeah, this is some Nolan.
Can you not smell it?
What about it? You could have it involved in your game. So like, you've been away, you've printed different models, and they've appeared. So you're playing 4D Warhammer as well. So like a unit could be destroyed.
What, like
you've been away, printed a new unit, painted it, and come back and replaced it on the board.
Gav Thorpe in the Warp.
Like Gav Thorpe in the Warp.
That game concept, yeah.
But the guy who invented 3D printers is really into this idea of like bioengineering, all this combination between like bio and mechanical. And his sort of idea was that you didn't buy a physical object, you bought a design. So you'd essentially buy an STL for like a camera or something. And then if you were like, oh, I don't like where the button is on this camera, you would then be able to move it to where you wanted to and print it in your own house with something that had all the components in and stuff like that. Yeah. So if that's the thing, then I guess the next part will be we can print our own cardboard from from the box, our own rule books? No, actually, I don't know. We can print everything, right? I guess we can print everything
Yeah.
that's in the box at home.
I mean, maybe the
suppose.
simplest cool thing from 4D printing would be that we can print all of the models that don't have STLs from the olden years. Like, we just print out a second edition army, boom, done.
Maybe
Yeah.
yeah.
I still think Games Workshop could end up doing that in the next 10 years.
I think they're going to have to at some point.
Like they've got to compete with the 3D printing.
Yeah, but the great thing is if they do and it is truly 4D, we'd have it right now.
True.
Yeah.
Because it would be through all time, you know.
So yeah, so we need to wish hard enough, I think.
Yeah,
and then 4D will appear.
Or maybe
it's
4D as in like when you go to the cinema and it's not time at all, but your models might like if you've got Nurgle models, they let out little farts on the board.
Oh,
like in the cinema, you get sprayed on the face.
You get sprayed.
If every model you lick tastes like its thing. So
that'd be excellent. Like scratch and sniff Warhammer.
It's scratch and sniff Warhammer,
Nurgle.
exactly.
Yeah.
So don't lick the Nurgle ones. Don't lick the Nurgle ones. Although they've got that kind of weird grossness that you keep being like, is it? And you keep
like
going
the horrible
back
jelly beans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to think
serious
mileage. This.
Oh yeah. Hello, listener. Editor Stoney here. For some reason, we started talking about 3D printed dice in this section, and it led to about a 10-minute conversation of complete bullshit about dice. So let's just cut that out and rejoin after that's done, eh? Anyway, you've got to stop talking about fucking dice and the dimensions. We've gone way off piste here.
The best thing about this question was that we've invented scratch and sniff Warhammer. Of all of the 4D options, be it dice time,
copyrighted Large Blast podcast, fucking Games Workshop. That one's ours.
Yeah.
The next questions are from Chris, or Paint Water Hobbies on Instagram. He asks how Stoney got into 3D design. Does he have any tips for someone just starting out?
Well, I think that it's been enough time just to say now that I used to be on the Citadel Miniatures talent program, which was basically like a thing to like see if you could essentially get a job. They sort of train you up to like work at Games Workshop, and it's for like people. And I started, and I got on there by like making models by hand sculpting, and then basically chatting up the guy who ran the who was doing all the things. And he's a good guy, actually. I still send him emails from time to time. I sent him a picture of my Doom Rider the other day that I made, and he was like,
nice.
I'm glad that's bullshit. I'm glad you never got a job here at Games Workshop. And we, so that's how I started doing it, and why I started doing it, and why I started with fucking ZBrush rather than Blender, because that's the like professional one rather than going in. But I don't think there's like a massive difference between
the professional one?
ZBrush.
Right.
Which is, but ZBrush is horrendously expensive now, and like it's just gone up in price, like everything fucking has. But like, and it's like I don't really know if it's worth it compared to Blender, because I see some people making some really cool stuff in Blender, but it's just nice to have all that. It's like anything; you get used to it, don't you? You get used to the thing you have and stuff. So I'm sort of like. And Welshie, we spoke in the beginning of this show. You've seen me try to operate a computer game. You saw me try to play Space Marine.
It's exactly. Like your grandma tried to do it.
So you think that's not me when I'm sitting here? That's me when I'm on ZBrush. Do you know what I mean? I'm all over the place. So so it's not so you definitely don't need to have technical ability to do it. But you need to be able to think in 3D and stuff like that, which is important skills. But you can do. But I honestly would recommend doing that with like modeling clay and stuff. Anyway, you shouldn't like learn to think in 3D in Blender and ZBrush, I would say, because that's just like it's not the correct way to do it. So yeah, I think that's if that's what you want to do, then just fuck off all the like. If you want to get involved in like making 3D sculptures or whatever, then fuck off all the expensive design programs. Fuck all that shit off. Just go and get some millipart or some green stuff or something. You don't need to sculpt stuff in like 40k scale where it's really small or whatever. Make a fucking huge demon prince or like a Warhammer ogre or like a titan or something big, and just like get your head around that first, and then come into like ZBrush or Blender or whatever, because it will make you so much better at what you're doing. To have that real life understanding would be like how I would say to do it.
I do always remember, Stoney, something that I found interesting that you said about your design progress that they might find interesting was that one of the things the program said about you that they liked is you're one of the few people that sculpt from the outside in because you're used to chainsaw carving and taking away, whereas a lot of people will start from the inside out and add to rather than remove. Is that still what you do now you're computerized with it?
I mean, yeah, it all comes together in the same. So yeah, I mean, it's different. Like obviously, I mean, you've got an undo button, on
Yeah,
on ZBrush, so it immediately makes it way more forgiving, and it's a good way of like messing around with things. Like you can kind of doodle on ZBrush, but then I would say that you can do that with real sculpting stuff as well. But like, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Don't like just it's just one model at a time. Just make a shitty model. If you finish it, make sure you finish the things that you start, and just put it to one side. Oh, I like that one. I didn't like that one. On to the next one. It's just one model at a time, always. Um,
What did any of the Games Workshop guys give you any good tips? Did you learn anything from them?
um, I mean, I did, but about how to use ZBrush.
All right.
Although, to be honest with you, like I'm a fucking caveman on ZBrush. I really do like a lot of the kind of the tools, the really good like tools and things on there. The thing is, and we've talked about this before, is you can really tell when something's being made on ZBrush by someone that's let ZBrush do most of the heavy lifting, because it's got a really definite style, and you can see like rather than sort of like hand making a chain or something, they've used the chain tool or whatever,
yeah,
which looks fine if you're doing like, because it's mostly used for like graphics in like computer games or like movie industry or whatever. So that all works out fine for something like that. But this is model making. This is totally different. And like, actually, a lot of that stuff doesn't translate well into like small sculpture or whatever. So like, there you can really see when someone's just used all the tools and stuff. And I would really recommend not doing that. But just for me, I literally use ZBrush like I was hand sculpting something. And that was a lot of the criticism that I got from Games Workshop about how I use ZBrush as well. But also, I mean, it's just one of those things. You just got to find what works for you. And there's plenty of online courses. If you're ever stuck on something on one of these things, and you do decide to take the plunge and buy ZBrush, which I wouldn't recommend at this stage, then there's so many videos and things like that you can see that you can just fire up and like. And now you can find someone that will have an answer for you. When I very first started, I actually went on Fiverr and just found someone that was doing like model making stuff, because also on the talent program thing, you've got these deadlines that you have to hit each month, these like kind of progress markers, and like and being really shit at knowing ZBrush. I found someone on Fiverr that was making models and just sent him like a list of questions, and he just answered them. He just sent me the answers for them or whatever, and it was just they were just stupid stuff that I couldn't find online. But you'll always find someone that'll help you. So yeah, I mean, fuck it. Send me some questions if you've got it. If you want to know how to do ZBrush badly, send me some questions and I'll tell you.
Chris's next question is, Welshie has mentioned his PhD in the past. What was his field of study?
Oh, that's a question I never thought I'd get asked on the Warhammer podcast. Without knowing what your background is, let's keep it to molecular biology. Specifically, I research bacteria, their genetics, and how the genetics within that bacteria results in what that bacteria is able to do, and from that, how that can lead to potential targets for drugs and medicines to heal people. So
he's a
my
drug
background's
dealer.
all in my background's all in genetics and biology and medical science. So if you hear me rambling about any of those things within 40k lore, that's why. I find all of that stuff very, very interesting.
What would be the closest thing in Warhammer lore? I mean, I guess there's that whole branch of the tech priests that they never really go into that much detail. What are they called? The biologists
or something.
Yeah. I guess the question you're really asking me, am I team bile or team cool? I don't know. Bile likes to. He thinks he can genetically engineer a super race. That's a bit
No,
dodgy, isn't
well,
it? In
but you're
historical
always talking about that though,
things.
Welshie.
Cool thinks he can improve on the science that's gone before, but is a bit arrogant about it. I think probably more cool than Bile, but yeah,
There's
I
still
don't
a bit
know.
of bile in there, though. I think it's fair to say, right?
I do, yeah, definitely, absolutely. It's the hair, if anything, it's
Yeah.
slowly falling out on top. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I love about sci-fi. I do love the sci, and for a long time before my PhD, I was a teacher, and I taught a lot of the sci stuff, and I find sci-fi a good gateway into science for a lot of students that I taught, and good science in sci-fi keeps me hooked. Um, so yeah, I like it, and I think there's also quite a lot of big Games Workshop names that all have PhDs. I think Darren Latham has like a chemistry PhD or
Really?
something. Like I think there's a number of people that I read because I applied for Games Workshop a long time back, and when I was researching that, there was a lot of stuff on their website in the olden days about going into it post career. So you've got a bit of world experience to draw upon with your designs and your work and where you go with them. But yeah, emails more specific questions if you're a science nerd and you want me to go into any more depth.
Next question is in regards to the Terminus degree, how are the Grey Knights supposed to beat all the Custodes? Is it because they're girls? Are the Grey Knights afraid of cooties?
So the Terminus decree, isn't it? It's the magic button
The
that
kill
if the Emperor
switch.
wakes up, the Grey Knights have to kill him, and that was revealed. The Terminus decree was always something that was vague,
It
wasn't
was
it?
always, yeah, it was
It
Oh
was
always
an
shit, we
vague.
unknown
talked about
box that
this.
would only be opened when the Emperor woke
Yeah,
up,
but
and
they kind of
recently they revealed that
clarified it.
it
Clarified
was
it.
that the Grey Knights would be sent to kill the Emperor, which sent everyone mad because they were like, "How are the Grey Knights supposed to beat the Custodes?"
Are the Custodes aren't psychic, are they?
They
Are
are
they?
not.
No.
No.
So
But they've got
that's the
lots of
thing.
anti-psychic weapons, so I guess that's the leveling factor. The same way the Thousand Suns often have fewer people on the board.
No, I've cracked it. I've worked it out. Didn't Malcolm the Sigillite? He was involved in one of the people involved in helping create the Grey Knights, and didn't he get the whole moon hidden in the warp? Titan disappeared
Yeah,
for like what, a few thousand years. So that's what they do. They just use that ability, right? The button go. They're sat in Titan orbiting Saturn. The Emperor wakes up. The alarm goes off. The guy in the prognosticators or whatever they're called, the guys that read the future in the Grey Knights, they're already like ready for this to happen. The whole chapter's there. The alarm goes off. They just plug in the coordinates, boom, and Titan teleports into the Imperial Palace.
whoa, boom. No
And
terror,
then
no emperor.
yeah, no Terror, no Emperor, no Grey Knights, no Custodes. Boom, you've just evaporated the whole thing.
Well,
The
I
Emperor
think
wouldn't survive
you're
that.
instantly refuting Chris's statement that the Grey Knights could beat them based on cooties. I think we're all accepting that the Grey Knight. There's no way they could in a battle. I don't think the Grey Knights win against the Custodes, even if the Custodes are girls now, which they're fucking not. So,
There's there's there's
I've got an
10,000
answer,
Custodes.
and
It's
I
10
think
to 1.
this is almost hinted at in the Siege of Terror stuff that there is no end to the storyline for Basilio Foe, the super clever bioengineer perpetual that comes up with the virus that will wipe out all transhumans in the
Hmm.
galaxy. Is there something he cooks up between then and now that will target all the Custodes and the Emperor properly? And is that hidden on Titan somewhere? Is something that could be explored, I
What? So
suppose.
they
They kill
deploy a bio
themselves.
they deploy a
Yeah.
bioweapon.
Are they the only ones that are detached enough from the rest of the Imperium to wipe themselves out in the name of fulfilling the Terminus decree? I don't know. In my honest answer, Chris, is that it was an oversight in the Games Workshop team.
Yeah,
Someone that
definitely
didn't really
was.
know what they were
Yeah.
talking
We
about,
said that at the
noticed
time.
it in a previous codex and thought they'd expand on it without quite realizing the fallout that it would create. Just like the person that wrote about a female custodes.
Our final question, also from Chris, is what is the worst name in Warhammer 40k?
How do you actually pronounce teach then?
Not like that.
Not like
Obviously.
that. It's
No.
teach.
This T is silent.
So it's Zinch.
Yeah.
Ah.
But why do they have the T in there then?
Because he's a shifty bastard, isn't he?
No, yeah, but this is the problem is that this is a I'm taking this all the way to the top because this isn't a problem just with teach.
Oh.
Like there's plenty of bullshit words that this so-called amazing language of ours has decided need a letter in that makes absolutely no sense. Why does bomb have a B on the end of it? Why does Savorite, the gemstone, have a start with a T? Why does all that? What? None of it makes any sense.
It's all Zinch.
Yeah.
It's not Zinch.
Yeah.
The spelling is a byproduct of the bullshittery. So I mean, I guess
He
that
kicked
it's
it off.
reference
That's
to
what I'm
it.
saying. All that I think all silent letters the result of Zinch. But maybe you're right, Steady. Maybe the Z is silent.
I think this is all you non-dyslexics talking your bullshit again, trying to make it sound like it makes any sense. When it all just you're making it up. You're all making it up on the fucking spot as you go along.
Maybe it's just
It's the
inch.
spelling
Could it be
is the
inch?
first lie you're told, people.
Titus is quite a shit name.
Titus
Yeah,
is, a
Titus
pretty
is
shit
like what you'd
name.
call a
This-
bulldog.
The Space Marines, yeah, I guess they're new names for the Space Marines, aren't they? Like they get a new name when they join the chapter. But
But
yeah,
there's so many names.
There's some
across
trap.
40K.
You know what?
do you know,
fuck it,
Reboot E. Gulliman is
I'm going
is
like
a bad
you know,
name.
Like
Yeah.
in recent history, it's got to be a fucking Necron name. They make absolutely no sense. What the fuck is going on with them with all the Zeds and shit? They
Well,
don't
they're
even.
all-
They make no sense at all. How are you supposed to read that out loud? That's a name which everyone has a different version of in their head. No one has got together and been like, oh, this like all the writers. They're just like, oh yeah, let's just fucking spam the keyboard a little bit. Oh, I've made the next Necron name.
I take your point about the Egyptian spellings there, Stoney, but
They're not even
I'd,
Egyptian. That's just more bullshit they're telling you.
I'd see that and I'd raise you Lion L. Johnson.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
bad.
I mean,
yeah, that name.
that is bad.
And so the evening draws to a close. The new knowledge we have shared already descending to the dark recesses of our brains to fester and forget. But fear not, dear listener, for there may still be a chance for you to come and ask your question yet. Simply leave it in a comment or send a couple of quid to the Buy Me a Coffee campaign and you too might hear your questions answered by a ragtag collection of Warhammer goons. So until next time, we bid you goodbye.